Jennifer. We're talking about the global pandemic mixed with wintry conditions outside that we're seeing. Today is Ash Wednesday. Let's talk about it.
Yes. So Ash Wednesday is a big deal in the Catholic community. It's kind of like our Super Bowl of the year, if you have rather. And it's just our time to reflect and get prepared for that big day of Easter. And it's the 40 days and 40 nights exactly before Easter. And during that time, we give up something or give back to the community more during that time. And we fast on Ash Wednesday as well as every Friday. And what that means is we abstain from meat on those days, as well as we try to stick to just having one big meal and then just two smaller meals. And it's our way of just sacrificing for what God gave to us. He died for our sins. So it's basically just that our way of sacrificing for Him. And, for this situation with the ice, now, we weren't able to go to Ash Wednesday service
Mhm.
on top of COVID. And I mean, we're doing things a heck of a lot different this time around. And, I haven't been to church since the whole COVID situation began. And I'm an active church goer. I usually am in church we have Saturday or Sunday service. You can go on Saturday or Sunday.
Okay.
And I was very active. Um, I gave communion once a month. Presented communion. So I've stopped all that. And, St. Michael's is where I go, and I love my church. I love my church family. And so being away from that, it has, really, you take things for granted, and even though they've done a great job with, the video showing it on, YouTube and all that, it's nothing like the in-person relationship.
Got it.
And I'm really missing that.
Now, Father Joseph, I spoke with him earlier, and again, he says that they've moved all of the services to Sunday at 9 a.m. Any chance? I know that you're not like the priest or anything like that, but any chance that it would change from being Ash Wednesday to now Ash Sunday? Would that change, or would it still have its
Mhm.
name?
Well, from what I know, it probably would not change its name, but they would probably just do the ashes still, distribute the ashes, because that signifies like, okay, this is the beginning, this is the start. So by not having that, it's like, okay, you're missing a part of Ash Wednesday. Like, that's a big deal. That is showing our sacrifice and our penance that we've chosen for this time. So it would not necessarily, because you can't get rid of the day, but I mean, it wouldn't necessarily change the name, I don't believe. But it's just that way of, okay, we still have ashes that we can distribute, and we can do so during church. So.
Got it. Now, Jennifer, I hear you keep using the word sacrifice. Throughout the whole pandemic, a lot of people have had to sacrifice a lot of things. And then with this wintry weather mix that we have going on at this time, people are also again having to sacrifice. So that is a huge word, and it means a lot in the time that we're in. Let's dive into that just a little bit more. Sacrifice. What are some things that you've had to sacrifice since the start of COVID all the way up until now?
So, like I said, previously, is the going to church. That, I mean, that was a big deal for me. I tend to, I'm a real big homebody, so I don't really go out a lot. But when I would, it's to go to church. Like, I'm either work or church, or to the little grocery stores every now and then. But I'm just, that was a big deal for me. So when that happened, it was like, whoa, whoa, not go to church. It took some getting used to, because it was just like in my makeup, like every Sunday you go to church, you go to church. And there was a point during the time that, and I forget exactly when it was, but I was like, okay, maybe it is it's starting, I think the numbers were going down just a little bit. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll trust it. So I went to church with my sister, and what that's another thing, going to church with my sister, it's such a valuable time to me. You know, me and my sister have a close relationship, and church was one of the things we bonded over too. And that I'm missing that a lot. And so anyways, I went, and St. Michael's is awesome. They follow all the protocols. Um, but and I went a couple times, but things had started to get bad again. The numbers started rising, and I have a lot of elderly people in my church family. And so, and I work at a hospital as a job skills trainer. So there's no telling what I'm coming into contact
Right.
every day. And I would feel horrible if I brought anything into my church family that could, jeopardize anybody. So that was a big decision. It was a hard decision. I had to come to saying, you know what, maybe it's not the time to be in church right now,
Mhm.
and just view it from my home.
Now, Jennifer, what's the main message that you want to send to other Catholic members or even just family members?
Stay strong. You know, I know right now there are a lot of people out here that are struggling with mental illnesses, with especially like people that don't have a support system at home. You know, single people. You know, my sister, she doesn't have anybody but her, dog Sasha mama. But I mean, she doesn't have anybody. So I feel for those people that are by themselves. Luckily, as you know, Marcus, I have my husband Brady here, so I have that. And for the people that don't have anybody, stay strong, stay in that prayer, and don't lose focus, and know that it's gonna be okay. It's just getting to that point.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Jennifer.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.